Okay, the next stage, one of the really important stages, is actually getting people to enter their email address to get their free report. Okay, they get the freebie, we get their email information. Okay, and this is all accomplished in something called an opt-in form, that little box where they say enter your information, click the button, and we'll give you your free product. Okay, now in this case, we're going to be talking about two-step opt-ins and progress bars as one of the higher converting elements that we can incorporate on our landing pages. Now, what we're going to cover in this lesson is that there's a really big range of types of opt-in forms we can use, from very simple to somewhat complex, from lots of forms to very few. We're going to discuss the power of what we call the micro commitment and what it means for the quality of your list, and simple tweaks that we can use just in the opt-in form itself to increase our conversions. Now, as to the types of opt-in forms, as mentioned, there's lots of them out there. Now, again, what is it? It's just a simple box. It's got some fields where people can enter the information that you ask them to enter in order to get your free product. Okay, they can be very short and simple, or they can be very long and detailed. Okay, some people request name, email address, physical address, phone number, all sorts of other information. Some are very, very short. Just enter your email here. They can be static, meaning they're always just fixed on the page. They can be animated. They can come in the form of pop-ups. They can fly in. There's all sorts of crazy stuff that software lets us do these days. Let's just, get into some of the basics. What we really like is the two-step opt-in form with a progress bar. It gets into that micro commitment concept, which basically means this: when people start an action, they're more likely to follow through with that action. Okay, and it's picture's worth 1,000 words, so let's look at some of these examples. Okay, starting with some very basic ones. Okay, here's what we've all seen many times. Okay, on a squeeze page, this is a very static opt-in form right at the bottom. Enter your name, enter your email, get access now. Okay, very simple, nothing wrong with that at all. That's what's working for this particular vendor. Fair enough. Now let's look at another one where here's where we get into something called the two-step opt-in. And what's interesting about this is there's nothing to scare you. There's just a button that says get access now. It doesn't look like you have to do anything. It doesn't say enter your name or enter your email right away. It just says get access now. So if I'm curious reading this, the simple two-step formula behind etc., etc., and I want more information, I can get access now. Okay, so I hit the button. And now look what happens. I get this little pop-up. This is where the form comes in. Okay, that's called a two-step opt-in. Okay, I hit a button, and now I'm prompted to really fulfill my commitment and enter the rest of my information. Okay, now let's look at another example. All right, here we have another squeeze page. Okay, and this is again a two-step. As you can see, there's that button, but it doesn't show anything. It doesn't say what I have to do to get it. It just says download now. Okay, so I'll go download now. And now look at what we've got going on here. Here's my form to enter my email, but this is this little progress bar at the top. It says I'm 50% complete. Now, going with the formula that people are more likely to fulfill an action once they've started, now somebody's encouraging me. They've said, holy cow, you're already halfway there. All you have to do is enter your email address, and you'll be all the way there. Okay? And that is a good example of a two-step opt-in form with a progress bar. Okay, so again, this is where that micro commitment comes into play. It's definitely something to consider. The technology's out there. It's very easy to find and incorporate in your pages. Now, what is best for your particular lead generation page? You'll only know by testing. Okay, and this is one of the main elements to increasing conversions, is to change headlines, to change different elements, to change your opt-in forms, as we're talking about now, to see how your opt-in, your conversion rate increases with changes. I always suggest starting simple and only getting flashy if necessary. Not to say that two-steps are really flashy, but sometimes animations and pop-ups get a bit more involved. So we want to start simple. And remember that this little box, as important as it is only one small part of your overall conversion rate. So here's some things that we can use to really, really optimize that subscription rate to our lead page, okay? Ask for as little information as possible. And what you'll notice is if you see a form that asks for 6 pieces of information from, your email address to your name to your physical address to a phone number and a zip code and your favorite cereal, all of these things, the longer those forms get, the lower your conversions get. Now, why would people use them? Well, sometimes it's just such a very targeted product and going after a very targeted audience, okay? But in general, like we've been saying all throughout this series, less is more, and definitely with your opt-in form. If you can get away with just asking for an email address, your conversion rate will be higher. There's less information for people to provide. They don't think they're sharing as much, and they're really not sharing as much personal information, simply just giving you an email address. The lead-in to the form is also very critical, okay? That call to action, which we're going to be discussing shortly, that says, this is why you want to add your email address now, okay? That's very, very important. Now, the action item on this particular lecture is to explore as many opt-in form styles as you can find. And this means looking at a lot of different squeeze pages. And while you're at it, keep adding to that swipe file of headlines and subheadlines that we've got started, okay? But in this section, really focus on the opt-in forms. What do you like? What don't you like? Does that progress bar work for you? Do the short forms look better to you? What about the calls to action that they're using to entice you to subscribe? And also check with your autoresponder service, your email provider. See what types they offer, okay? A lot of them have really, really slick opt-in pages, opt-in forms that you don't need to do much work with, okay? So check out what they've got going on as well, all right? But remember, this is a very important step. It's the last step in the process when somebody's decided they like what you have to say, they're interested in your lead magnet, and now it's just the biggest hurdle is for them to actually enter that information. So we want to make it as compelling for them to do so as possible.